This is Deborah Thorton and her husband Greg. She's a cancer survivor. I'd like to hear your story.
My journey started April 26th of 2004. I received a little letter in the mail that said findings that may require further medical imaging. And that's really all they said. I didn't really know what was going on at that point. I went back about a month later because I was out of town. And when I came back, they gave me the diagnosis of breast cancer. So I was pretty devastated. My mother died of cancer when I was 9. So I kind of had that in the back of my head the whole time. But unfortunately, when I was 49 years old, I was diagnosed with stage 2 breast cancer, ductal carcinoma in situ. So I began chemotherapy, and I had a variety of different surgeries, and I was, presented after that in November that I was, clean at that point. I had another reoccurrence in 2008, and then I had another reoccurrence in 2012. So I have been struggling with this since 2004, and in 2015, my doctor came to me after one of my scans and said that I needed to stop chemotherapy. And there wasn't too much more that chemo could do for me at this point. I have been through so many chemos. I could name them all for you, but there's probably at least 12 or 14 different protocols that I have been on, and my cancer just outsmarts all of them. And we don't know why. I don't have the BRCA gene. I had the test in November 15th of 2004, and at that time they told me with the scientific, I don't know exactly the right words, the way they measure it, they did not have the ability then to I don't know if it's diagnose or to actually pinpoint what the gene was that was causing my breast cancer. So my doctor handed me a brochure about golden angels, and when I was a young girl, I smoked a little bit of marijuana, and I didn't react very well to it. It made me very paranoid, and I didn't like it. So I was really apprehensive to try this. At the time that I stopped chemo, my tumor markers were 407, I believe, and normal is 30. So they continued to climb, and my doctor started me on a new regimen that was not chemo-based, but that it had some very positive effects that were helping. A hormone blocker, thank you. That was, they were working in connection with each other. These two drugs had some promise. Prior to starting that, I started on the CBD. And my husband had to, this is my husband Greg, and he had to, he makes all my capsules for me every day. I had to start at an incredibly low dose because I'm incredibly sensitive to the THC. It's very, the psychoactive part of it is very strong for me, and I had a lot of trouble at the very beginning. So we started on a very small dosage in August of 2015? August 9th, 2015, and I am not kidding. Within 2 weeks, I started to feel better. I had more energy. I didn't have a lot of pain, honestly, from this cancer. I have the neuropathy in my feet from the prolonged use of chemo. I have shortness of breath a little bit, but I'm still able to function on a daily basis. I lost all my hair. Once again, that's twice that I lost all my hair, and that's really very hard for a woman, I think. First you take parts of her body, and then you take her hair, and I think that's probably the hardest part of my whole journey that I had to go through, is overcoming those things that a woman takes for granted on a daily basis. So within the first I take tumor markers once a month, and within the first month that I did the tumor markers, I believe I dropped almost 100 points. So my tumor markers today are at 96. I've been on it for almost 11 months, and I made a couple of little notes. I sleep really well. Everybody always says, oh, to look at me, they'd never know I had stage 4 cancer that metastasized to my liver. And all of my scans have been increasingly improving, and that's the proof you're looking for. As far as how much I'm supposed to take, my husband will be able to tell you all of that. That's the part that we don't know, that is the unknown. We don't know how long I should be doing this for. Should I cut back? Should I do more? That's the parts that need to be studied, and we need to know these things, because I'm obviously, this is proof to me that I am much better. My doctor has said 1/3 of your progress is definitely from the CBD. So I know that this is working for me. And before any of the scans, I'm kind of a controlling girl. And as soon as my scans are done or any kind of blood tests are done on me, I want to know the results. I want to know it that day. I want to know what's going on inside of me. And that's the only control I've had over all of this. And when I started the CBD and a few months into it, and my doctor said, okay, it's time for your scan. And I said, could we just wait a little more? And so he gave me one more month. And after that next month, he said, I'll call you as soon as I know. And I said, you know what? I'll just wait until my visit, because I know I'm better. I know I am. And my last scan showed that it was either gone or it's dying. So I'm here today to tell you that this is working, and I know that this is a big part of what's helping me. And I'm going to let my husband tell you a little bit about the regimen that I'm on. And
thanks a lot.
You're welcome. So hopefully it's not too much information for you. But.
Well, yeah, we got all the oil from Bill. He supplied us with it. We basically, we did a couple trials with 1-to-1. She had a really poor reaction, a lot of psychoactive reaction. I had to walk her through about 4 hours of that. So we stepped that way back. So we started out basically with about 30 milligrams a day of the CBD oil. So the oil that we get from Bill, it's measured by Pure Analytics, and what we're looking for is 70% purity. So in the oil, at a 1 gram, 700 milligrams is active agents, okay? So you can't just give the person a full 1 gram a day. They won't be able to take it. So what's nice about it, though, is you can build up desensitization. So I have a whole, I've documented, basically I went through and upped the regimen about every 4 days, tried to increase the dose, sometimes backed it off, documented the side effects. She had a lot of anxiety, as she noted, panic attacks. Those would subside as we lessened and kind of stayed at the dose. So basically within a month, we were up to a full dose of 1,000 milligrams a day. Wow. And pardon?
What ratio?
20-to-1. We're using 20-to-1, right? So, for example, the first dose was 28 milligrams of THC. That's pure THC that she was taking each day. And so I know some of you, partake and take your 10 milligrams, and you can feel what it's like. But she's taking that, and sometimes she was taking up to 70 milligrams of THC a day. So we found that after we got the good scans back, the one side effect that she had was a little bit of depression, and I don't know if it was survivor guilt or whatever, but we were suspicious that the CBD oil was now causing her long-term panic attacks. She went and saw a therapist. Now she's got that under control, and she's still taking it. The one big question that we have is, how long can we take it? Seems to be doing okay. Can we cut it back? Should we give her more? I talked to Bill's supplier, and we're talking about playing around with it. But as the previous spokesman talked about, we really need human data, and we need lots of it. And it's not that expensive, and it's a lot cheaper than the active chemo drugs. I mean, we did it all out of pocket. So we're talking half the cost of what the chemo drugs she was taking. And that was all out of pocket. So instead of going to insurance companies, these could be going to the people that are growing the cures for us. That's what I'd like to see happen. Anyway.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you.